Hey Ferreck, we talked about a lot in this podcast, and I saw that you have like 1.5 million plays on Spotify. I mean, that's a lot. What's the secret to get that many plays on Spotify?
I don't know what the exact secret is. I'm just lucky that people apparently really like the music. I think it's, especially it has a vocal. It's not too. It is club based, club focused, but it's still doable to listen to it, in the car, at home, or whatever. So I don't really have the key to the answer to this question per se, but.
Well, it's not like 50,000. It's almost 1.6 million.
Yeah,
but it's sick. Do you even realize how much it is?
Yeah, but I don't really know what the key to success for this whole for streaming is. I think it's just of course one of the big factors is releasing on a label like Defected, who has a massive reach. That helps enormously. And just you have to be lucky to get picked by Spotify curators to be placed up in the big playlist,
know. Of course.
And I don't really know how they do that, how they judge that. I think I really have no idea if there's a guy who follows. I think they follow the big labels and see what they release, and if they like certain tracks or they see some tracks perform well, they maybe show some interest in the artist as well.
Yes.
This is just on the top of my head, but. I don't really have an answer to why this is happening. I'm happy with it.
Is it more like that the idea that you're producing commercial music? Is that maybe a thing? Why?
It's for instance, it's not underground techno. So that if you produce that kind of music and put it on Spotify, it will probably be played by people who are going to an event to get in the mood. And of course, there's people who will just play it during the day, but most likely people will listen to something a bit more friendly on the ears, as in vocal or a bit more melody or whatever. So yeah, of course, it's house music, so it has pianos and vocal. It's upbeat.
Yes.
So happy music, maybe, especially in these times, maybe it works well. So yeah, of course, it helps that it is house music. People want to sing along at the end, so that definitely helps. Yeah,
and maybe it's the most popular genre in the whole house thing, like the more vocaling, more soulful things involved in the track. And you already told me, and I saw that you are part of the Defected family. Can you explain what it is to be in that family? You go to the parties, you play, and all those parties, in all Europe, like Croatia, London, you name it, you've played there.
I'm just really happy that they support me in this way. As I said before, when I was an act who was signed to spinning, people weren't probably not really sure what kind of direction I was headed in. And so now with Defected being so supportive of me as a DJ, it's very clear for everybody that Ferreck Dawn is a house act and releases this kind of music. So it's amazing to have that big a label back you up, give you book you on the different gigs across the entire world. So I did a US tour with them, I did Australia tour with them,
nice,
all over Europe. So it's amazing to be part of the guys who play for the label and kind of represent the label in different countries. And I really like the people who work there. It feels like it feels like if you go to an event and all these guys are there, it's like, I'm going to see my mates and my colleagues, my friends. So it's amazing to be part of a group that they make me feel really welcome. That's special as well. I feel it's a lonely job usually. I don't really like traveling alone, being in the studio by myself all day. So it's really cool that if you go to events where everybody is, that this is going to be a good one. So it's amazing that they back me up like that and give me all the gigs, release my music, talk about me on social media. It's great to be part of the group.
You got tagged in several messages on the Defected Instagram also, and on the Facebook page, of course. Sure. And I saw that you work together with a lot of big DJs. I name David Guetta, I name Martin Garrix, Tiesto. Are you not afraid that people gonna think hey, he's got the release on Defected, on Spinning Armada, all house labels, And Martin Garrix is, of course, a bit EDM-ish, and Tiesto's EDM-ish. Are you not afraid, like, people gonna think, Ferreck, what are you doing?
Well, it's all remixes. I think that's a big difference. It's not collaborations with them, as in we're not creating a full-on EDM record together. No. So if guys of that level ask me to do a remix, I am.
You don't say no.
No, I'm honored. And
yes.
Even though it sometimes might be a challenge because it has like a more EDM pop-ish kind of vocal. I kind of like the challenge, and it's up to me to create a version of it that I feel is like Ferreck Dawn-ish, housey. And if you can translate, if I can like morph the EDM-ish track to a more housey version, job complete. And I don't think it's hurtful for my brand or profile, how do you want to call it, as long as the result is good and done right, and it's still house. I think that's doable. And a nice little challenge, as long as I'm not producing music that's very different from what people expect from me, because I do think that would be a problem if I would, let's say if you listen to my past 10, 15 releases, and then all of a sudden there's a few new ones that you feel like these are really out there compared to what you've been doing before.
Totally different, yeah.
That I wouldn't do that, because that is confusing for everybody, for the label, for myself, for people who follow me and listen to my music. So I will never do that. But if no matter who it is, asks me to do a remix and it's poppy or EDM or whatever, and rock music, I don't care what it is. If I'm able to, create like a house version of it, let's do it. Let's try.
Hey, and one question that pops into my head: have you ever done a ghost producing project?
No.
Never?
No.
Whoa,
no.
That's a very straight answer.
I've just never done it. I feel like all the time I need to invest in myself, because I'm not at a point in my career or that I feel that I've done enough and let's just focus on other people now. I don't mean this in a egocentric kind of way, but I just mean I feel like there's a lot more to learn from me and to get better, improve, hone my craft. So I focus my energy on myself and not on selling it or whatever. I think it's just, for me, I'm not musically gifted or anything. For me, it's nothing more. It's hard work. For me, it's not that it comes natural to me to, let me play this chord progression. It's not like that at all. I have to, put in the hours. So, and that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years as a producer. And now slowly but surely we're getting to a point that it's, where we are right now. But I only wanted to go higher. So I just devote all the time I have to my own stuff. And plus, I feel like, especially lately, if you listen to my music, there's pretty distinguished or like signature sounds in it. I get messages from people on Instagram sometimes from, hey, is this your track? Because I recognize this, which is great. So if I would produce a track for someone else, I don't really want other people to say, oh, this is Ferreck Dawn. So I just decided to it's interesting, as in short-term money wise, it is interesting, but I'm just going to focus on myself and on my own music and on my own career.
Think that's important. And last question, what's like the future plan for you? Or this year, maybe because of the corona, you can't plan like further than 1 year, I guess. What's the plan for the coming year? The releasing plan, the perform plan?
So I have a couple of cool collabs coming up. Couple of interesting ones. One is with Dylan Francis, which is
nice.
It's cool, which is a bit more. That's a good example of what you just mentioned. So it will be. It's a bit of a we have to find like middle ground in what he does and what I do, and let's see. I have two with Vintage Culture, who also produces a bit more melodic stuff. Usually, he just did a release on Defected, which is amazing.
Cool.
So we have two. One is a bit more techie. The other one is a bit more techie, as in tech housey, not techie. You get what I mean? Tech housey, and the other one is a bit more poppy, but still very housey. So that's exciting. I have one with David Penn. That's really cool. Really guitars and great vocalist. It's Andrea Triana from The Vision. I don't know if you heard of her, but she's an amazing vocalist. So and a couple of solo releases that I'm finishing up, and music. That's music wise. Tour wise, it's starting slowly end of May. May, June, July. It's mainly predominantly is UK, which is great. That's my biggest market, and I love to play there.
Yes.
They're doing really well with vaccination, so I might be lucky that I'm, able to enter the country with a negative test or whatever. Hopefully, I'll be vaccinated by then as well.
Yes.
And in August, it starts to get a bit more interesting because people, I think promoters. That's probably the first month that promoters will try to start doing bigger events again.
They dare to organize those events.
So we have. Let's see, Defect to Croatia, which was my highlight 2 years ago. So I really hope that one happens. It would be amazing if that would be if that would be the first defected event back after Corona. That would be amazing.
Yes.
And then the week after France, the week after 5 days, 5 cities in the US. So that's a really exciting one.
Sick, yeah.
And the weeks after that, it's a number of festivals in the UK. So from August on, I have a little hope, a small, tiny piece of hope that it will actually happen. I hope. I just don't want to get my hopes up and be disappointed if it gets cancelled or if I'm not vaccinated. And I don't know the rules per country or what they want, quarantine, whatever. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it big time, but I am very cautious with my emotions. Let's call it like that.
I fully understand. I fully understand. Ferreck, thank you very much for giving me this English answers to those questions.
Sure.
And I've done a YouTube class last time, and I have to tell all the guys who are watching right now to hit the button, subscribe, like, comment below, whatever. So this was the English part.